lot of the time I'm like, I need to communicate this out of my heart. I'm feeling so much right now. I need you to, oh, that sounds weird, milk me. You need to like get this poison out of me. My guitar like broke and like it wasn't plugged into the amp, but we just put a mic and I tried not to move too much, but it was still like the best show.
If I'm being honest, it might be fun to collab with Taylor Swift because she's just like she has such a distinct way of writing. We got to play in one of the venues that I would go to as a child, a hotel cafe. We got to play there, so that was like a bucket list thing. We have like 25 new songs, so we're gonna just start recording them soon.
We're doing single after single after single, and then an album later on.
This band has banded together to put up banners and ban bad behaviors. They've also been featured on Spotify's Fresh Finds and Indie Twang playlist. Please welcome Jacklen Ro to the podcast. How are you guys doing today?
Hey. Good. So good. So awake.
What an intro. I mean, I had to sit there and like rehearse in my head getting it together. I was like, I'm gonna mess this up.
That's awesome. I don't think I've ever heard anyone else say that
Yeah,
before.
usually no one brings that up.
So where did that saying come from, or like how did you guys come up with that?
It was just us being goofs in high school.
Yeah, when we were in high school, we were like, oh, we need a bio. Let's just think of some funny stuff, you know?
We used to be called Jacklen Headband.
Oh, yeah.
We like wore headbands once.
Yeah.
To be like recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
And then we never did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
so now you've changed it to Jacklen Ro. You guys are a duo. Where does that name come from, or how did you transition from Jacklen Headbands to Jacklen Ro?
Well,
Jacklen Headband like lasted for the minute we talked about it.
Yeah. It lasted for like creating an Instagram, but then we want something to sound a little more serious. I like to Jacklen is like Jackie plus Caelen. So that's like that part. And then I really like 2-syllable, 1-syllable names. Like I think they just stick, And so we were like looking for the last 1-syllable thing because I wanted our band to sound like a name, like a combined name, So then Jackie's last name being Ro, just like we were like Ro, that works,
Yeah. And it does, maybe it is the syllable thing, but there is something about it that just sort of like rolls off the tongue or makes it easy to say. And so
people just call me Jack.
And so for both of you, like, what was your first experience with music like, or what made you guys want to get into music?
I started really young. Like I started music when I was like 5. I went away on a little backpacking trip, and when I got back, my mom had gotten me a drum set with like a bunch of wooden blocks on all the pedals, and I just started playing drums, and then I started guitar, and then just didn't stop.
Yeah, I got a tiny guitar when I was like very, very young, and I didn't touch it, and then someone broke it, and I was like, oh, but that was my guitar. And then I got another guitar, and then I was like, well, I have to start learning it so that people don't break it.
That's sick.
Yeah, my aunt is a songwriter, so it was always like I was hearing music a lot, and my dad would play the piano.
So I mean, you were surrounded by music, Caelen. It seems like you started from a young age. Did you guys have anything else you were thinking of pursuing or like trying to get a career in other than music?
Not me, no. I pretty much, since I was like before I can remember, was like, yeah, this is all I'm gonna do. Like it was my favorite thing to do from a really young age, and it never stopped being my favorite thing to do. So
I just want the perfect.
Yeah,
I just loved talking to a crowd. I used to do like talent shows with my family, and I'd like watch a TV show that they liked, and then I just say all the jokes that were from the TV show I didn't even understand because I was too young, and they would all laugh, and I was like, this is so awesome. But then I did and then it was like, okay, this will be the thing that I do in front of the crowd.
Unfortunately, the Jackie's comedy career didn't really take off.
But
Well,
whether it
it's
is
like,
comedy or music, there's something about that energy of like having people watch you or like enjoy whatever type of performance you're doing. Are you a music artist trying to find a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible? Then check out DistroKid. DistroKid is a super user-friendly and super easy-to-use service that will make your music available in stores like Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, Snapchat, everything. Everything you could imagine, it's available. People will even be able to add your songs into their Instagram stories. DistroKid helps you with the distribution, monetization, and promotion of all of your music. Use the link in the description of this video for 7% off any DistroKid package you want. Pick from musician packages designed to help artists get their own music out there, or even get a label package where you can manage up to 100 artists from one profile. So that's more for like managers, labels, and you can also get the musician package that I mentioned earlier, which is more for artists, producers, things like that. It's super easy, and you can get 7% off any package right now with the link in the description of this video. So once again, if you're looking for a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible, I'm talking any platform you can think of, get DistroKid and get 7% off right now with the link in the description. Back to the program. If there's someone else or even another duo who is like ready to sort of start making music or wants to pursue a career, what tips or advice would you give to them?
we learned a lot this year.
Yeah, there's so many, I mean, there's so many like technical tips, but I think just starting out, um, like I'd say really like a, um, it's okay to like it's okay to like not want to do it full time in career because it's really hard, but if you do like really want to just make it in music, I think if you just don't give up and just keep pursuing it, like kind of try to put yourself in a position where you can do as much as you can towards music all the time. Like you can put as much of your time and energy into that and then just don't stop. Probably eventually you'll make it. Like if you hone your craft in the songwriting and hone your technical ability and instrument and then just keep going out and playing open mics and playing shows when you get them and just start trying to do it, it'll eventually work. You just gotta be willing to stick it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or but also like just have fun and like don't pay attention to who's watching or who's listening or how many views you have, because it's like that's not what it's about. And once you like every time we just lost focus on everything else but like the moment that we were having,
Yeah.
it always worked out. Like
True.
abundance comes from like you. That's all I'll say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, so you mentioned like performing live, going to open mics, things like that. The first time that you two had a show together, what was that like? Or like how did how did you guys feel going out on stage?
It was a wild time because we went to boarding school together for high school. This place called Idlewild Arts, which is in California, on a little mountain. So basically, the concerts were sick because we were surrounded by all of our closest friends and enemies. Because everyone would go to the songwriting concert, everyone was there, and so you could just get to play a song in front of like literally everyone you know, and like that's fun. That's power.
Pretty cool
Yeah.
venue too. Like the campus is really cool.
Yeah.
It was very
And
nice.
we had both gotten in a similar breakup and the similar time, and we started writing a song together called Ancient Pianos. And that was like, we were like, oh my God, this songwriting chemistry is good. And then we played that song at a concert, and it was so fun because everyone we knew was there, and everyone was digging it, and it was dramatic mist, and it was so cool.
Yeah,
It kind of felt like we
and
were on a tier of heaven, where it's like you're around really creative, fun people. I've never experienced a place like that before.
No.
yeah, sounds great. And is that where the two of you met, or like, you know, sort of, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And
He toured me
Yeah.
at school.
I toured Jackie. It was awesome.
awesome. And when you guys were starting music, did you have sort of one inspiration? Maybe it's an artist or a band that like you look towards as like, okay, let's sort of be in the style of this group or anything like that?
We had a couple of key inspirations, but pretty much from the top, like when we started, it was interesting because Jackie had a very different musical background than me. Like she was into a lot more like Beach Boys, Beatles, Kooks, like
Strokes.
I always say happy music because like compared to like the music I would listen to, it was very happy music. Like I was like super coming out of the emo wave, you know?
Yeah.
So when we started writing together, there really wasn't a like common inspiration. I think we both would just like put out our soul inspirations and then they would become something new. But then, very quickly we became super close and started listening to the same music and stuff. And I would say like,
I think my inspiration's just you because
yeah,
I
I would
wouldn't
say
I
Jackie's
wouldn't
my
write it
inspiration too.
for through my inspiration. I would write it to like make him like it.
Yeah.
Ancient
Same.
Pianos was like when we first worked together, and I was like, I know he's an emo. I'm going to use emo words when we write together. Like that's
Yeah.
probably our most and last emo song.
Yeah, and then the second song we wrote together was like
A country
totally in
love
the
song.
opposite side, you know? So it was definitely like I mean, we both like admired each other songwriting a lot when we met. So it was definitely like getting inspo from each other. But I'd say okay, later on I'd say like Andy Schaff and Father John Misty and uh I guess the Beatles. What
Yeah.
else? Anything else?
Oh, a whole slew of
Yeah, we
stuff.
listen to a
Great
lot of
inspirations, you know, some
but
great,
those are like the first stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
The-
now, now, you know, music, especially since the days of like the Beatles and some of your other inspirations, music has changed so much to like, you know, social media and then having an online presence and things like that. What do you guys think about like artists almost needing to like promote themselves on social media and things like that, or just the intersection of those two uh industries, I guess?
it feels exciting because then it's like, okay, you're your own entity now. And even though it sucks to have to get used to the camera and have to do this, I was thinking about this the other day. You now like can be free from and you can create your whole image. Like you can just be more creative about it. It's another skill to gain, basically. And I think it's just inevitable that this is happening now.
Yeah.
I agree. I wish that I could be the like mysterious artist who doesn't leave the hole until they have a release and then they drop something and everyone's like, "Wow." And like they go
Yeah.
on to an interview and they're like, "Fine," you know?
Or Daft Punk, you have
Yeah.
just like a helmet on.
Yeah, like I totally totally like wish that was still the era, but like I think since like Jackie's saying like having control over that aspect like because the public I was thinking about it like with YouTubers, it's like if you see the same face and you hear the same voice over and over, it's like you really do start to like know that person.
Have a parasocial
Yeah, have
relationship.
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's kind of cool that as musicians, we find people who are interested in that and interested in getting to know us on that level, and we're able to like provide that too. It's pretty cool. So there's good and bad.
Yeah.
I would go without it if I could, but
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
embracing it since
But
you got
now,
it.
like being in the business, you're like, oh my gosh, we literally need people to back us, even
Yeah.
still. But at
Yeah.
least
But
we didn't get marketed before, so
Yeah.
that's how we
Yeah.
marketed ourselves.
Yeah.
But the positive of it, like you were mentioning, is you have a way to connect more closely with fans and things like that. Have you had any like cool fan encounters at all of like someone coming up who like really wants to get to know you or feels like they know you from your online presence?
Oh yeah, totally. Totally.
Like when we were traveling to the East Coast this summer, um like Chicago, a bunch of people came and it was really cool because we didn't think anyone would be coming for us. Like we were
Yeah.
opening for Skating Polly, this punk band, like we're indie. And it was really awesome. Like people had watched us for like years, which is
Yeah, we
nice.
played a show in Cleveland, Ohio, or Columbus, Ohio, and somebody from Canada came, drove like 6 hours, 6.5 hours, just for our set, and got a hotel and stuff for it, and like it was so cool to see that because, like I've been a fan of bands, and I've been a fan of a lot of like smaller bands, and the stoke of like having them come to your town or like somewhere close enough is
Yeah.
so like, ingrained in myself that seeing that happen with somebody else for us like has totally blown my mind a couple of times. Like super cool.
Yeah. Awesome. And when the two of you are starting to, work together, think of new songs, what does that process look like, or how do you guys go about writing a new song?
A lot of the time I'm like, I need to communicate this out of my heart. I'm feeling so much right now. I need you to, oh, that sounds weird. Milk me. You need to like get this poison out of me
Yeah, that's true. A lot of
sometimes.
times like
Or like I'm so in love,
yeah. Yeah, a lot of times one of us will go to the other person and be like, I'm feeling that like it's hard sometimes it's hard to like channel stuff that's going on in your life if it's really intense. Like you
Yeah.
just want to like and like say like really directly what's going on. And having somebody else who's really close to you and understands you really well, um, and has that outside perspective can really help. 'Cause like sometimes I'm just like like in a breakup and I'll be like, I'm just freaking out. And Jackie, like, we'll sit down and like we'll start singing and Jackie will just know every word that I'm thinking. And it's like, so I think we draw it out of each other a lot, but it starts honestly a good way to start, I think, for us is like talk just sitting down and first being like, okay, what are we talking about here? What do we need to say? Like
How do we
how do
feel?
we feel? Like having a good discussion, because obviously we know pretty much everything that's happening in each other's life all the time, but like when you want to write a song, you really have to have an idea of what aspect you want to go about it. You want to know like, okay, what am I really like? What is the most important bits and pieces of these feelings? And then we'll
Yeah.
talk about that and then we'll write a song.
Hey, if you're like me and you're interested in the YouTube or creator space, you should check out The Publish Press. The Publish Press is a completely free newsletter founded by YouTubers Colin and Samir. They host their own podcast talking to some of YouTube's largest creators. They've edited some of the best content I've seen on YouTube, and now they're sharing their knowledge about the YouTube space with you for free. The Publish Press comes out 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with everything going on with your favorite creators and platforms. And like I said, it's completely free. Just enter your email address to receive the Publish Press whenever it comes out, and that's it. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below, sign up to the Publish Press, and get all the info you need on the industry. Once you sort of make a song, you release it, have there been any songs or even just like bigger projects that you put out that either like you weren't thinking much of it and it took off, or that like you two were really excited for and just didn't do as well as you thought it would?
Oh yeah. Made of Sugar we thought was gonna do so well. And I like who knows? Because we like thought one of our other songs, "Forget It All," was gonna do really well, and it
Yeah.
didn't until after our punk tour. So that makes sense because we started playing that more.
Yeah, I thought Forget It All was gonna like be a hit, and then it was like our least listened to song for like a year. And I was like, damn,
But
really
that's
miss
just
that one.
marketing.
Uh,
Like,
Oh, also our Christmas song, the first one. I did not expect that one to
oh,
go as
I
well as
kind
it
of
did.
thought, but it's so funny. My girlfriend makes fun of us for having Christmas music. It's like we gotta make money somehow.
Gotta pay the bills.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure each year around this time you start to see that come back up
Yeah,
and
we're
get
like,
some more plays.
The Mariah effect.
yeah, really.
Yeah, and so if there is either someone listening or just someone in general who like hasn't really heard of you but like wants to get into your music, what song do you think you two would recommend to them to sort of be like, all right, this is our sound, or like this is the kind of music we make?
I wish I knew how they were feeling.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, if they want, I mean, I usually say Time Bomb just because
it's the most
it's the
popular.
most popular, you know? If they are a tender person, I might say
Falling for You.
Clementine, or maybe Falling for You.
Clementine.
I think Clementine's very vulnerable and emotional. I don't know. I'd say, hey, just go
Go
crazy.
for what speaks to you. Go for what you like.
Listen to
And
the weird intro from our Till There Was You EP. That'll give a good.
Maybe I'd just be like, listen to Clementine. There's a groove. It's about this movie, if you know the movie. I feel like people will be able to hear, if you tell them what to look for, they'll hear it and then because songs can be really overwhelming of like, you
yeah,
got the bass, you got the drums, you got the vocals, and then you're trying to listen for things, but when you first come in contact with a song, it's like, whoa, I don't even know what's going on, you know?
yeah, it starts
That's
off
why,
as just like sound, and then the more you listen to it, you start sort of hearing the layers of it. You're like, okay, the guitar, does this here, the drums sort of have this breakdown, and so it keeps building the more that you listen to it.
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
And so maybe it is, trying to make songs for, listeners who feel the same way that you guys have felt in the past, but so either song to song or just as an overarching like career with your music as a whole, is there a message that you're trying to send with like your band or your career?
It just like it's good to feel intense. Like
Yeah.
it's really good to like be in love and let it all like just go for it. Whatever it is, whether it's a person or a thing, it's like just trying to express emotion, deep emotion, like anger, whatever you're going through. It's not a bad thing. It just you like a release for it, basically.
Mhm.
So like when
Yeah.
I listen to Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo, I'm like getting out my anger. And it's therapeutic, I think. And that's why like I need to make music, you know?
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, I think really it's like emotionalism, celebrating emotionalism. Like, I always like think about like I think emotions kind of like contaminated a lot now, because like advertisements and propaganda and like everyone's trying to use emotion to get someone to do something, and
Yeah.
like I think it's important to just remember like what emotion is and how you feel it and like what it's like and how beautiful it is and how all those things without being like having it being used, like I think that's just like emotional
Find
freedom and
find
beauty.
find what you're authentically feeling, not what like something
Yeah,
that
and
you're consuming is
celebrate it,
trying to
not
make
try to
you feel.
replace it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So going forward, like and maybe it's different for the two of you, but what is your goal with music, or what level do you want to reach with this band?
Oh, I'm gonna do this until I'm dead.
Yeah,
I
think
don't even care where we go.
yeah, however famous we get, we'll take it.
Wherever it takes you.
I think we're gonna be doing it forever, and so Yeah.
We got lucky. Like, this isn't just a job. This is like my best friend in the world.
Mm.
And this is like my favorite thing to do. And I think we want to travel, and it's given us that opportunity. That's like a different love in itself, and just performing is so amazing. It's just like its own relationship. It's like I can't imagine neglecting my child.
Mhm.
You know, I
Yeah.
don't care where we go.
Yeah.
I have to
But
raise it.
you know, ideally, we are making enough money just on this band to support ourselves and to support our recording studio in Topanga.
Yeah.
We're
And
yeah,
I,
we're working with some friends to make it all happen.
yeah,
That's
and
the
I think that's
goals.
really the dream for a lot of people. Just like, I want this to be my source of income. I want this, like, solely this, it's great if I'm doing this and I do something on this side as well to help keep making money. But I think the ultimate goal for a lot of people is just like, I don't need a super high up lifestyle. I just want this to be the
Yeah.
thing. With your guys' experience playing live, what do you think, is there one show that sort of sticks in your mind as like your favorite, or some moment that really sticks with you?
Yeah.
What do you think of?
Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle was
We
really
played this
awesome.
show in Seattle and it was just like it was a big
Ridiculous.
venue. Um, it was like by far the most packed room, big room, like the biggest crowd we've ever played for sure. And
Mhm.
every single person was just like there, and every single person was so stoked and cared so much. And we were on tour, so we were really tight, and we just like went up. It was just out of body, like
Even my guitar like broke and like wasn't plugged into the amp, but we just put a mic and I tried not to move too much, but it was still like the best show.
yeah.
It was so fun.
We have a lot
Yeah.
of really good shows, especially on tour, like, you know,
You get
just good show after good show sometimes, but like, this one was just like,
it was that the crowd was there because
yeah.
we went on tour and no one was there the whole tour. Like we've been put on roads without anyone coming to the venue at all, not even for the bar. So it was nice to get used to that and like have to be self-sufficient without the audience cheering us on,
Yeah.
And then to have the audience like actually be connecting was like the best thing
It
ever.
took it
And the
to a whole
audience
nother
was,
level.
like a
Yeah,
400 person audience or 500-person audience, like it was just like, oh my God.
it was really
Yeah,
fun.
totally. And so, and maybe the answer is different for each of you, but if Jacklen Ro got this magical opportunity to like collaborate with any song or band in the world, who do you think you would want to work with?
That's tough.
That's a tough one, yeah. Who do we want to collab with?
I don't even want to collab for us though. I want to just collab so I could like understand how they write.
Yeah, true.
Hmm.
Um, that's so hard. Probably, if I'm being honest,
Yeah, what?
might be fun to collab with Taylor Swift because she's just like
That's
she
wild.
has such a distinct way of writing. Might be fun,
That's so
but
funny. I would never expect you to say that. I was gonna say Andy Schauf
yeah,
because I
Andy
want
Schaaf probably
his
has a lot.
clarinet
Yeah,
and his
and his
orchestration,
but
his
also
producer. Ooh,
his new music. I want to
I like some
collaborate
of
with
it.
like 2010 Andy Schaaf.
I want to collaborate with Olivia Rodrigo's writing
I
team.
would love to, yeah.
Dude, they're so epic.
Yeah, they're
Merciless.
great. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I think I might choose the same. They're
And the
really
production's crazy.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely
Yeah.
not us, our style, but like we could learn a lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Take.
I'll say for me, final answer is Haley Williams.
Oh, there we go. The
Paramore,
real.
because her melodies,
Oh
man.
wait,
Her
actually, yeah,
melodies.
that's the shit Olivia Rodrigo's shit was based off
Yeah,
of.
true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, we both.
they like, it's a similar sound in two of them, but like you can definitely learn, like you said, from either of them, like if you got the chance to work. And I think that's a big thing, taking it as, hey, let's just sit here and learn something rather than like trying to get a big name or like make the best song. Like just having that connection with another artist could be really cool.
She as a person is amazing.
Yeah.
Caelen met her in a crowd once.
Yeah, I met her in a crowd at Turnstile, and she was just like so cool and so nice. And big.
That's
big,
my thing. I'm like, I
yeah,
don't care how
big
famous
respect.
or good you are. If you're bad to hang out with, I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on a similar note to that, like, is there a venue that you guys really want to perform at?
Ooh, um, there's a few I would love to perform at. We've gotten to perform at some cool venues. Um, hmm.
I don't have an answer for this one. I do not know
That's
venues.
all right.
I don't see shows.
Yeah. I mean, I would love like, hmm, probably like the San Francisco Warfield would be cool
Whoa,
because
that's
it's
so
ornate. It's ornate. Um, we got to play in one of one of the venues that I would go to as a child because I was born and raised in Prescott, Arizona, was in Tucson, and we got to play there on
the hotel.
a hotel cafe. So that was a bucket list thing because you know what? I'll say Hotel Congress, was that it? No.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah. Hotel Congress, but full. Because when we played there, it was like not
Yeah.
pretty empty. And it was like, oh, this is really cool to be on the stage, but there's like 20 people in the audience. So I'll say a full Hotel Congress.
Going forward, now you just somewhat recently, I guess, came out with Falling for You, your latest release. As this cool like watercolor cover art. What can you tell us about that song? What went into it? Anything like that?
That song was the watercolor was done by my girlfriend, who the song's about. And I met my girlfriend and she was moving to New York, and it's really just about like releasing love and just loving someone as much as you can and like letting that be it and not get putting so much expectation on it to like strangle how you actually feel, like create resentment. It's just like give everything you can because you do love this person even though you don't know them that well. Like, so that's, yeah, it's kind of just like keep me close while we are still good,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I'll try to love you no matter what. And now we're
Awesome.
living together.
Uh,
And and going forward, after that, what's the next project for you guys? If you can tell us anything about it, what's coming up?
we have an album in the works. We
We have a single
have a single that's done. That's
that's
gonna be recorded
groovy,
semi soon.
very, very Beach Boysy.
Yeah, this single we've been working on for a long time too. Like we recorded it like I think like in the middle of recording the Sunshine I'm Counting on You album. So it's like that era. But then we have like 25 new songs. So we're gonna just
Yeah.
start recording them soon.
We're
And
doing EP, or sorry, single after single after single, and then an album later on.
yeah. So
Awesome.
there's gonna be
Well,
a lot of stuff, but right now we're just like brewing.
Yeah.
We're
you're
marinating.
you're concocting new songs. You're getting them ready for recording and
Motion.
for release. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, I mean, those are all the questions I had for you guys today. So thank you too so much for coming on. Your music, you guys, where can people find you online or anything else you want to shout out and promote? Feel free to do it now.
We've got Spotify, YouTube, um, Apple Music. We've made a bunch of music videos for Bandcamp.
Mhm. Merch on Printify or just
On our link,
us.
we got an Instagram, we got TikTok.
Yeah. Whatever you can look will be there. Look
you-
outside your door.
If you
right
shut your
now.
eyes and think really hard.
Yeah.
If you focus hard enough, we can be there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll leave a link to some of that down below. And thank you two so much again for coming on. It was a great time.
Thank you for having us. This was awesome.